Okay, so this is the fourth part in trying to find ways to answer the exam question, even if you don't really understand programming a lot. So here, as you can see, he asks you to calculate the area of the room by multiplying together the length of the room and the width of the room. So I would say for people who doesn't really understand too much about programming, ignore this portion, okay? Which is rounding up the whole number. Just here is quite simple. The area is area, it's just multiplying the length by the width. So from where you get the length, this is the length that you actually get it as an input from the user, and you already validated that input that it is in between 1.5 to 10 meters decimal points. And also you did the same, you did validate the input from the user for the width that is in between 1.5 to 10.0 meters for the width of the room. Okay, so now to find out the price, okay, first of all, we have to input the choice of the wood. So, okay, input the choice of the wood. To input the choice of the wood, we know we have three types of wood: laminate, pine, and oak. Laminate have an index 1 and 2 for the pine, 3 for the oak. Okay, and then if we find the choice, okay, we will have a number from those three. So the number need to be 1 or 2 or 3, nothing more, nothing less. So if we look here, once you actually find, you get the choice, you can actually pass the choice to the price 1D array, and that will get you the price of this type of wood. Okay, but the price here is a unit price, which means that this is the price per square meter. Okay, so this is the unit price. So to get the area, you have to actually multiply to get the total price, you have to multiply by the square meter, the price per square meter. You have to multiply by the area. And it means that instead of finding a price of 1 square meter, you're actually going to find the price for the whole room. So you are going to find the price of the wood for the whole room. Okay, so to get the wood type, you also pass the choice into the wood type, and that will give you this string that you already choose. So here you are actually entering a number as a choice for laminate, pine, or oak. And if you please notice here, so we are actually commenting every step on every line that we do. So we are doing what? We are asking the user to enter the wood type. So we just putting this as a comment. So this is quite simple, not so hard. So I know that this portion, this is quite hard, yes. So indexing, the way it is done here, yes, this can be tricky for some people, but this does not prevent you, if you understand that you need to enter the wood type and get something from the user, this does not prevent you from writing the comment and even from writing this kind of line, because it's quite easy. And if you get the unit price and you multiply it by area, that will give you the total price. You need to print the total price. Okay, so okay, this portion is not clear, so I have to push it above a bit, so bear with me, please. So I would say that I will push this a bit forward above. Okay, so as you can see here, once I get the customer name, which is a string, and I need to add it to the array, which is the customer array. So every customer that we deal with, we have to save it in the customer list for later referring to it. And then the quotations, we have to save the length and the width that is entered by the user. we have to save the area, which is the multiplication of the length and the width, the choice that the user input. So even if you, I mean, if he's telling you store all the data relevant, store all the data in the relevant array, and then you know that the quotations 2D array need to have this data stored. So, I mean, forget about if you don't know how to get the choice or the area or even the total price, it doesn't matter. Just initialize this three variable to 0 and make this command, which is appending the data in the array. So you do not know, I mean, you don't really need, I mean, if you don't know how to do these steps, okay, but you know how to append something to an array. So a customer array, it will need to take input users, okay, a name of the customer. And then quotations is already mentioned. So if you look here, okay, it is very clear mentioned here that the 2D array quotations need to store the details of each customer, and which is 1, length of row, 2, width of the row, 3, area, choice of the wood, 4, price of the wood required in dollars, whatever is that. So the price, so as I told you, we know that it's a requirement that he is saying to us in this step, store all the data in the relevant array. So if we take the input for the customer, we need to store the customer name inside. So this is a simple command, customers dot append, and then we pass the customer name. And then here, this is a 2D array, which means that every row will contain these 5 data that we're passing. So that's why you see here, if you can see here, you see that you see the quotation here, we have a length, width, area, choice, and the total price. So that is how we actually entering the array, okay? So we are appending to the quotations all this data, okay? So, and I will explain the remaining print output in the next video. Wait for me.